it was one of those moments in my life where I really hadn't had a lot of these discussions about the spiritual realm. I was a youth pastor. I just was a normal youth pastor, just trying to live my life. And I love being scared and stuff like that. So it was Halloween night. Guy who, a buddy of mine who used to go like ghost hunting and all that stuff for fun. He would just like literally get hired. It's on his like as a side gig to go places and go ghost hunt. I'm like, dude, please take me along with you one day. And on Halloween night, he invites me. I'm like, oh, this is perfect. This is great. I love horror movies. I love going to haunted houses. I'm like, this is awesome. Yeah. So we go to this place and it's this building that has multiple businesses inside of it. You know, like one room's a salon, one room's, it's all tiny rooms and people rent it out for their own businesses. And the guy lives upstairs, basically saying like, you know, people keep saying they see this like little small girl in a white dress. And it's been years, like people who have different tenants who don't know anything about the history of the city or the town or the building keep seeing this thing and they've left and whatever. And so we go there, we set up recorders in all of the rooms and we just get there like at 10 o'clock at night and we're going to be there for a few hours. And I'm cackling at this point, you know, because it's just like my buddy's like, if there's any ghosts in here, speak to us now. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, I love it because I'm like, I'm on edge. It's scary, right? So I'm eating it up. And at one point I'm following them around, but I'm like, I'm not scared enough. I want to really get scared. Yeah. So I take a right. Tommy looks like I'm crazy. I take a right and I go down a hallway by myself and I'm just like, okay, let me just feel it. And it comes to a T, the right to the left, and there's a room. Like, you know, the hallway breaks off to a longer hallway T. And I take a left and behind me, I hear something. And that kind of spooked me because it literally sounded like a person. And I'm like, he told us we're the only people here. There's only like four of us. Four of us here. And so I run back and I just go with them. And later that night we go into a room and they have one of those radio signal things where it's like, it goes from like yellow to red and there's a whole spectrum. Yeah. And so we turn off all our phones. Everything's turned off. They test it to make sure like it's working. And so we're sitting in this room. He's asking a bunch of questions over and over. And this is like a 3-4 hour long period. And we're in there. And then he starts asking questions like, is anyone here? And then suddenly it just hits red all the way across. And it's a solid red. It's not like, because we had our phones on when it was on just to see. Yeah. And it was like, just like a crazy all over the place. And so then he starts asking more questions and they're just turning red whenever we ask the question, then let's go. You know, he asks how old you were and it hit like, I think it was 7 bleeps. Like, so 1,
no
2,
way,
3. And so we're thinking this is the little girl because at one point this is in the salon, the massage room where we put the thing on the bed. And the person was, that told the story was laying down, face down on the bed. And they saw, you know, the person's walking in, talking with them and stuff. And he sees their feet because with the head hole and they walk out. And then another person walks in and, you know, he recognizes that it's different feet. They walk out and then the other person walks in. He's like, I didn't know you had an assistant. Who was that? Is it your kid? And and then he looks up at her because she like kind of like was visibly shaken. And, you know, she says there's been a lot of people who have seen this girl.
That's
and
creepy.
So at the very, very end, I'm panicking because I'm looking at Caleb, my buddy, and he's just like, I'm like, if you're messing with me right now, and he's freaking out. I could tell he's freaking out.
Wow. And he's the ghost hunter that does it?
He's the ghost hunter. Okay. And he's freaking out. And then they ask, you know, like, are you ready for us to go? Do you want to talk more? And there it was kind of silent for a little bit. And then he says, do you want us to leave? The thing turns red and then pivots 45 degrees.
Wow.
What?
And we're literally like the only people in the room. We're just staring at it. We've been in there for like an hour, it felt like. And then we immediately leave right after that. And he says, you're not allowed to, you know, follow us home, anything like that. I get outside and I look him and I'm like, I think I grabbed him by the shoulders. I don't know. I was panicking because I was like, if you're lying to me right now, if you are telling me this is any way a joke or a prank, you better tell me, because this is opening up a whole paradigm. Like this is changing my like perspective on everything. Because I never thought ghosts were real. I never thought any of this was real. And he said, dude, 100% I wouldn't do that to you. And then I went back to the church. I was a youth pastor, so I had to preach in the morning. So I had to get there really early, and we lived outside of town. So I stayed the night at the church in my office by myself, and I was paranoid the whole night. It was awful. That's awful. And then a couple weeks later, he sends me a recording. He says, "Dude, this was I got a blip from the room upstairs."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Dude, I'm pretty sure that was the room that I heard something in because I told him about it."
Yeah.
And he plays me the audio recording, and he he edited it so like it was a video, and so it had like the waves on it, and he put captions of what he thought it was, and it sounded like my name is
your
Keegan.
name.
No, it said the words. It's what it sounded like. It said, "My name is Keegan." Like that's what because that's what he put it. He thought he heard that, so he put it in the captions, and so for years I'm like, this is crazy. This is so wild that we heard something. And then years later, I'm here and we're doing the podcast. It's like episode 11.
No, it's like 4 or something.
It's a 4. Yeah, it's like it was our Halloween episode.
Yeah.
And we're just like, "Oh, Andy, tell your ghost story." And I had told Josh, I think I had told Andrew, our guy, and then we had 3 other friends that were also listening. And so I'm telling this story. It's like 45 minutes. I'm just really milking it, really trying to make it a Halloween episode. And then it gets to the point of playing the voice recording, and they're like freaking out. And Josh's like, "Oh, that's so scary," because Josh has heard it a million times. And then they're like, "Wait a minute, that's really crazy that it says your name." And I said, "What do you mean?" And they're like, "No, it says your name, right? Like that's the scary part." I'm like, "No, what are you talking about?"
I didn't hear that.
I didn't hear that at all. I've listened to this like a million times. And he said, and then Andrew's like, "No, listen to it again. Listen for your name." We play it back, and I'm not lying to you, dude. It says Andy Danoon.
No, it just that's insane.
And I don't know if it's really that's what it's, but it's crazy because these people didn't know what he was going to say, and they heard. I didn't prep them what it was going to say, anything like that. It's just, this is what the recording is. They heard Andy Danoon. I sent it to my buddy Caleb, and he's like, "I can't unhear it now."
Wow.
And so it's just weird. And
that's
that kind
insane,
of like,
dude. Those are good stories, you guys.
Yeah. After that night, after I found out that it sounded like my name,
worship music.
I blasted worship music.
I'm really into worship music now.
And Bethel, all this stuff, and all that, like just falling asleep because I'm like, this is so scary.